lot that this is important to you, that you're showing up to come to this thing. I've called this thing, or this talk, 1,000 wall balls for time. That's gotten a few of your attention. Did it work? Okay, the reason being is I had a member that dropped in who used to be a member. She moved to China. You guys know Karen Ekoff, right? And Karen Ekoff, she loves to run and is a very good runner. And she was asking me, and she just showed up, and we had already started to do some more of this type of aerobic training, putting the heart rate monitors on and slowing down a little bit to start to want to work aerobically. And she was having a hard time that day. Like, she was like, I just can't even move. I want to get a workout. I don't see the point, right? And then she Facebooked me a couple weeks ago, and it was like, oh, I'm starting to come around. I'm starting to get and understand why. Can you help me just a little bit more? And I kind of responded with her. I was like, well, when you go out and run 6 miles, is that a waste of your time? Because that's kind of what she said. Like, she's like, it just feels like it's a waste of my time. And I was slowing her down in it, right? You guys all get that? Right? When you come in here, you expect to flail around on the floor and you can't breathe and catch your breath, right? Catch your breath. So as soon as I say, hey, let's slow down and try to do this aerobically, you're like, oh, I came for a workout, Max, right? So that was kind of my point. When you go for a run for 6 miles, because does anybody think just going to run 6 miles would feel like a waste of your time, or would you feel like you did something? Right? You don't equate that with not doing anything. So I put 1,000 wall balls up there as, like, let's say 1,000 wall balls would be a CrossFit equivalent to maybe running a marathon. Right? And let's say you did 1,000 wall balls for time, and it takes you a couple hours, right? First time, second time it's a little faster, right? You follow, right? Kind of trying to make sense to her what it means to try to start to CrossFit aerobically. So I used with her, I said, well, let's say you're going to come in and do 300 wall balls. How long does that take? I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. I was like, well, did you waste your time, or did you do 300 wall balls? Does that all make sense to you guys? Right? Just because we slow down and do things aerobically, the reps still count, even though your heart's not jumping out of your chest, right? Does that all make sense to you, and that all kind of like, I can grasp that, okay? So now, how does that equate to performance, right? Or weight loss, or overall health? So that's kind of where I started to go with this talk. And I can't really talk about health in here, in this kind of realm, without talking about stress, right? And our daily life, we have all sorts of different stressors, right? And what do you guys define stress as? Anybody? Deadlines cause stress. Anybody? Come on, give me some stuff. Your dog's got to go to the vet. Your girlfriend just broke up with you. Lost your job. You didn't sleep well. You didn't eat well. You worked out for, what's that? Sure, that causes you stress, right? The true definition, right, of stress is basically like applying pressure, right? And eventually, you apply enough pressure, it breaks. Yes? You all kind of get that. But if you build and push pressure long and hard enough, something breaks. Right? You can't stay under stress or under tension or under pressure without at some point giving yourself a break. So, I thought maybe I'd kind of go a little bit over, like I call it the glass of health, and we'll get into that a little bit. But, a lot of this started in this talk about training aerobically. I ran in college, I raced bikes professionally for years, and any time before you started ramping up into your racing season, you had a base phase, an aerobic building phase, a repetition phase, right? Where heart rate stayed relatively low, and you were just putting in miles. You were just running. You weren't worried about how fast you were going. You were just putting one foot in front of the other, or you were just pushing the pedal. Does that all equate and make sense to you, right? You just needed time. You just needed reps to get better at that aerobically, right? So then when you started adding more stress or more tension, meaning high-speed intervals, threshold intervals, those types of things, you had the foundation or the base to be able to perform. Got it? So this isn't like all of this stuff that I've talked about. This isn't new things. It's a little bit different from what we've started to transition from in CrossFit. You're starting to hear more and more about aerobic capacity, and what does that mean? I think that even that term is getting kind of bastardized a little bit in our communities of CrossFit, and what does aerobic capacity actually mean? And then we'll talk a little bit about that. But where was I going to go with that? Oh, so none of this is like new thought. This isn't my idea. You guys get that? I started to kind of come around to this when I went and learned from James Fitzgerald and the OPEX program. You guys know James Fitzgerald. He's, he was the original games champion. He's been coaching personal training for, probably 30 years. He's been studying this stuff, and he was one that he kind of bought into this high intensity craze, hook, line, and sinker. He's like, man, you can get really fit, really fast doing that. But then over time, he's noticed a trend of adrenal fatigue with his athletes, and within himself as well. And he started to see everybody would ramp up into this level of fitness, right? Where they would just be really fast and get there really quick, but then they would start to just fall slowly off. Just slowly, and these were young athletes. These weren't older athletes that were just declining because of their natural age. These were high. So he started really looking at this. He started changing his approach, and then he started training people CrossFit-wise, aerobically, right? And that's kind of what the premise of a lot of what he was discussing with us is like. There would be an argument that the average person that is doing this for health, we could argue that we really even need to be going threshold, high intensity, right? There's an argument like what good does that really do you, especially if you're doing it on a daily basis, right? So now, if you can take the example of a high-level runner. 90% of their time is spent aerobically training, right? I'm just applying this as a high-level athlete because the same principles apply to us, normal, average, everyday people. Does that make sense to you? Right? The highest level of athlete isn't going to compete and train on a high level of intensity every day. They know that they cannot sustain that. That's too much pressure eventually they bring. Got it? So that's kind of where a lot of this, wanting to put a heart rate monitor on you guys, because for myself, I've been training CrossFit now for 5 or 6 years, and I kind of abandoned my old principles of when I was racing bikes and running, of building a foundation, then having an off season, right? And I just started CrossFitting like mad. I thought harder, faster, more often is going to be better, right? Well, I've been the same athlete for 4 years now. You can look at all my numbers. I'm pretty much, little dips and valleys, but pretty much I'm the same person. Well, that's because I never committed to any more aerobic work, right? What happens here is I just kept my stress level, and I never let myself come back down to build my aerobic base up, so my next time my stress level, I could erase it. And that's kind of the idea of an interval and things like that. I'll get a little bit more. Did I lose anybody, or is everybody still kind of following along? Still okay? You're still okay? Don't just stop me if you're what are you talking about, guys? Okay, so this isn't new. This isn't just something I conjured up, right? You can look at any, Dirk or Joe Friel, the Triathlon's Training Bible, all those type of endurance training. This is what we're talking about here, okay? We're just trying to apply it to wall balls, to butterfly pull-ups, to rowing, to lunge steps, to air squats. Got it? Okay. Now, as we continue to move forward from this stuff, you're going to find that you're just at some point, for when I've been training, trying to stay aerobically, or at least give myself some sense of what I need to do to slow down and be aerobic. Because when I started doing this, for the last 4 years, I walk into the gym and I'm burning sugar. Got it? I am ready to be threshold. and I'm really good there. I'm ready to be at 85% of my heart rate, and I can sit there for 12 to 20 minutes and not have a huge decline in my performance. Because that's all I've trained, right? But I get there so fast that I don't give myself any time before I get there. Got it? Make sense? Right? So I couldn't even hardly, even today, I was trying to do this aerobic. I pick up the barbell, and I didn't even have a thruster yet, and I got off the rower at about 70%. And I did one thruster, and my heart rate went, oh, this is what you're doing? Here's 85%, right? Because I'm trained, I think somebody said to me, oh, it sounds like you need more thrusters, and that's exactly right. I need more thrusters at an aerobic pace. Got it? Well, it's hard to do, right? But hopefully, if you do enough of them aerobically, you can train your body to not want to burn that sugar during a thruster, right? You can train your body to want to burn fat. And just, eventually, your pace will get a little faster. Just like on a rower, or just like when you're running. The first time I tell you to row, and I say, stay aerobic. Stay below, stay 75%. Don't hit 80%. And you might row 2:20 pace. It's just like I'm here to get a workout, right? And I can promise you, you are changing things, the way you absorb oxygen within, the way you produce energy is changing during this time of aerobic work. Got it? So over time, if you would, let's say, so now you're able to row a 5K without freaking out. Right? When I say 5K for time, everybody's like, why are we doing this? Well, that's because we all equate not having any clue or any idea how to pace ourselves. We just think we're going to get on this thing and have to destroy it for 20 minutes or less if you're a good rower, right? So now, let's say I say we're going to just log some miles on this road to build your aerobic capacity, your ability to do work with oxygen, right? I kind of got into this. We all know the difference between aerobic and anaerobic. Yes? Yes, anaerobic is basically without oxygen, you're burning lactate, right? You only have so much of that before you start to decline in performance. Yes, sorry, I kind of got ahead of myself. We all been talking enough about that to get that. Aerobically, basically, if you maintain an aerobic output, you should be able to maintain that for a really long time.
And what percentage of your heart rate is that?
So generally 75%. A good number you can figure out for your aerobic work would be 180 minus your age. Kind of been some work done on that. So if you take 180 minus your age, that's your ideal aerobic working heart rate. Think about that, it's really low. It's really low, right? But if you can become faster at whatever you want to do, whether it's biking, rowing, wall balls, pull-ups, squats, right? If you can become faster at that aerobic heart rate, you guys following me? Let's say to stay at 142 beats, I think, 47 beats. 180, yeah. So let's say for air squats, this is my aerobic pace today. Let's just use this as a pace today, right? This is what I have to go at. If I go any faster than this, my heart starts to get into 80%. Got it? So if I practice and train, and now all of a sudden I can do 300 squats and not be stressed out. Get it? I've done a lot of reps, I've refined position, right? I've taught my body how to do this, just like I've taught my body how to walk. Right? Row aerobically, got it? Hopefully over time, if I do enough air squats aerobically, and I practice this, and I do interval work to stretch my ability to stay aerobic, got it? Because we can do aerobic intervals. They don't have to all be threshold, horrible, nasty things, right? I can design workouts that keep you aerobic, that stretch your ability to stay aerobic. So now all of a sudden, my air squat pace becomes this, and I'm staying aerobic. You guys see the benefit of this all of a sudden. Does it make sense, right? But you can't just, you can get yourself more aerobic by becoming stronger and having a better air squat, but you still have to spend time doing that movement aerobically. Got it? You need to spend time doing that. So that's why we're starting to see a lot of this in our programming, why I want you to stay aerobically. Sometimes it's because I know what I'm doing, what you're gonna do tomorrow. I don't want you being sore for tomorrow. I want you to really be able to hit that next thing today that's gonna be a little higher intensity so you can get more out of that. Okay? Better look at my notes, make sure I'm listening for something. Oh! So a perfect example of what I just said is Laura. How many of you guys know Laura? Some of you know her as Ham Horn. Right? So Laura's been with us a couple years now. And when she started, so she had been running, right? And she would be what I would call, like, well, let me ask you this. How many of you, if I say, we're gonna do something really, really hard for 2 minutes, how many of you would have a hard time, like, needing to flail around on the floor afterwards? I have no problem. I can get there in about 45 seconds. But do you know what I mean? Like, if I said, go as hard as you can for 2 minutes, how many of you are gonna just be able to just kind of like, that was Laura. She didn't have the ability or the capacity within herself, in her nervous system, to be able to drive herself into the ground and stress herself that much. She just wasn't, she had never trained that way. She'd always just kind of ran, I don't want to offend Laura and say scooted around. Like when she ran, she probably scooted along, right? And she just did that a lot. So she's been doing that pretty much in here. Like, everybody else is just cashed out on the floor. And I go, hey Laura, how was that? She goes, fine. Right? And it wasn't that she didn't try hard, believe me. She was trying hard. But she was slower at the time. I don't know how many of you have worked out with Laura lately. She's fast. She's fast as shit. Right? And she's stronger. She comes here every morning, WODs, 5 days a week, and then she goes and lifts there. Why is that? Why is Laura able to do that, you guys think? She's aerobic. She comes to CrossFit, and now she's fast aerobically. She's starting to be able to dig down the nervous system a little bit. She's starting to play, interact, and look at her face. You know what? You guys know when I look at you, you guys ever wonder what I'm looking at? Like, I'm trying to read your face. I'm trying to decide and figure out how far you need to back off, you need to pick it up, or whatever, right? Well, now I'm starting to see a little red face. I'm starting to see a little bit more like she's able to get her heart rate into that range of threshold work. But because the majority of her training in here, she's just now becoming really fast aerobically. So I've never heard her complain of an injury. You guys didn't hang out a lot with her, anybody? Yeah, right? So when I started learning about more CrossFit aerobically, and I start watching someone like Laura, who never misses a day, I don't think she's ever been sick in 2 years, right? And she's getting ridiculously strong, right? My goal for this gym is long-term health for you guys, not just quickly getting you fit. I don't know, I've put out a few videos lately of like the New Year's resolution type things and stuff like that, and I'm just, like, the get fit quick is not what we're doing here. What we're talking about, aerobic capacity and building people's health. This is like, it's okay to slow down when you come in here. You'll be able to handle more reps. You'll have less soreness. You'll have more excitement for coming the next day. You'll have more fun. Okay? So, like, did I kind of like wrap that up okay with you guys as far as with Laura? Will that make sense? You guys hear all that? Right? Now, for Laura, that's just her pace. Aerobically, that's just her pace. For the rest of us, we have to teach ourselves. Right? We have to figure this out by putting a heart rate monitor on. When I see orange, I gotta back off a little bit right now. If that's what the goal for the day is. Right? If the goal says keep it below 80%, keep it below 80%. Have some fun. You're gonna, like, I'm trying to get some programming in there, and I'm testing all these WODs out. So they don't make you realize that you're slowing down. You get it? I'm trying to keep you from having to do that to yourself. I'm trying to design WODs so the interval will stop right when you're starting to stretch and reach. Right? That kind of brings me to, like, the interval. Where did I write that? Interval, I hit all sport, right? Interval, what's its purpose, right? The purpose of an interval, whether you're doing a threshold interval, or an aerobic capacity interval, or an aerobic capacity interval, is to stretch stretch your ability to be in that, whatever it is, right? Whether we're working aerobically, anaerobic, even like aerobic threshold, right? Where you're almost going into threshold, or then you're almost going into anaerobic threshold. There's like a whole bunch of things going on there, right? And then there's just like, crash and burn, right? Maximal effort, 90+%. If you guys have started to wear your heart rate monitor, as I have, I've noticed like I can do pretty well at 80, 85%. I start playing above 85% into 90% too long, wheels start to fall off. Pull-ups aren't as crisp, I'm not as efficient. Wake up the next day a little more sore, got it? But since I've started keeping it below 90% almost all the time, like, I'm ready to train. Like, my stiff joints, my needing to stretch a whole bunch before I get into workout, like I'm ready to go. You got it? Does that make sense? Like let's do this. And that's all just because I'm taking the stress down. But yet, I'm still getting all the reps. And now I'm starting to get a little faster getting all the reps and not having to stress myself out. Got it? So how is that gonna help me, right? For me, as a gym owner, it's gonna be more time. I can test out more WODs and not be sore and worthless, right? I don't take my naps at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which was a chronic thing for the last 4 years. Like at 3 o'clock, I was taking a nap. If you showed up here and I was here, I was in the back sleeping, right? My wife just like, really, Max? You gotta have another nap, So, since I started backing this off, right? All that stuff has gotten better. Those aren't great signs of health. Do you guys get that? For supposedly the 80th fittest man in the world, right? That was my claim last year, and I couldn't go for a walk with my wife, right? Back it down a little bit. Save it for a day when I put on there, hey, we're gonna stretch your ability to hold threshold. Now, hey, let's get after it. Let's do this. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going with some of this stuff. Does that make sense? I hate it when I ask that question, but it's like saying, get an interval, good with it. Interval work is fun. Especially when you start seeing your heart rate, and you're like, oh, you're doing a 5-minute AMRAP, and you're like, oh boy, the last minute and a half, I've been just a little bit above my zone, right? I stretched that ability to be aerobic, or I've stretched that ability to be anaerobic. Cool? Okay, so that's the point of all the rest, the work-rest ratios. Those are by design. You'll see big work set, then a big rest, then a big work set, then a big rest. Okay, and those are for a purpose to try to help you reset so you can then stretch your limits again. Okay? I think I've kind of touched on what actually is aerobic capacity. We're just seeing that term in CrossFit all the time, and I feel like that's just another way for somebody, like, they think every time they do something on the bike or the rower, they hashtag it aerobic capacity. And really, like, they're probably doing anaerobic threshold work, right? Think about, so we've kind of talked about how working aerobically could help you in life, right? Does everybody kind of get a sense of how you could come train more, you can show up here more on a day, come 4 or 5 days a week, right? How that kind of training could help you get to do that. Do we also understand that training like that, CrossFit-wise, you're going to absorb more of the strength work that we do because you're not going to have to put so much pressure on your cardiovascular system. You're actually going to allow your muscles the opportunity to get stronger as well. Cool? You get that? Now, let's just say the Open's coming up. Let's just say in February, March, and it's a 12-minute AMRAP, which is a pretty typical time domain for the Open. And it's a 250-meter row, 12 burpees, and 6 thrusters, right? And we know anything over 4 minutes basically turns into an endurance event. Okay? Anything over 4 minutes basically is an endurance event because you can't work at 90% for more than 4 minutes. And I'm talking a really good athlete, somebody that's really trained at this before performance starts to fall. Got it? If you're at 90% and plus for more than 4 minutes, you're a special human being that can maintain that pace, okay? Now, so let's say, so we know we got 4 minutes, we're gonna try to like go crazy. Do you do that at the beginning or the end? Right? So now, we're looking at this 12-minute AMRAP, and we know for 8 minutes we need to keep ourselves somewhat functional. 4 minutes, right? 8? Okay. So you get 8 minutes into this thing. Your 250 meter row, this to me, this is just an opportunity to try to get myself back under control. Right? This is probably going to put me at 90% for at least a couple seconds. I need to get out of that fast, or I'm going to start declining my performance. Right? Hopefully I can maintain staying out of this for 8 minutes. So I've got to find a pace for all of this stuff for 8 minutes that I can maintain aerobically. Somewhat. You can play in and out. So the longer and the faster that I can go aerobically, got it? Just going to help my score. Make sense? That's the way you can really decide if you're getting more fit. In here, like that just kind of is like a little snapshot of how this could help your CrossFit performance on a daily basis or on a, throughout the year. Make sense? Cool? So you'll see workouts where I'll say first 4 rounds, keep yourself at 75 to 80%, maybe 80 to 85 for a round, and then it's just like, hey, get after it, right? Try to maintain your pace. Try not to fall off, more likely, because your heart rate's just going to slowly creep up. As opposed to bang, try to maintain, crash, fall apart at the end. Okay? So that's kind of where this is all going. For performance. You get that this work is, for performance, is completely has a different point than really for life. Right? Okay? Alright, real quick, I want to just talk about reducing stress. Right? And why training less anaerobic is going to do that. Right? Would anybody disagree that you're going to come here for an hour, and if I said go at 80% as opposed to 90%, are you going to leave here with less or more stress? Less at 80%, right? Okay? Now, let's say in both respects you did 400 reps. In your course of being here for an hour, right? Which one is better for your overall health, do you think? And now they're the same reps, just one's done fast and one's done over a longer duration. Right? Okay? So if you kind of like look at this in those terms, that's why this 1,000 wall balls per time, right? You can do 1,000 wall balls, and how long does it take us to do 1,000 wall balls, you think? Couple hours? Maybe 3? Lower?
3 days.
Okay. What if I said to do it aerobically? Did do 1,000 wall balls aerobically? And nothing above 80%. Let's just say it's 3 hours. Let's just say. The next time you do it, it's 2.5 hours. The next time you do it, it's 1 hour 45 minutes. Right? I've taken out that how much grit do you have? How tough are you? Do you get it? I've taken that out of the equation, right? You get that. Because I don't care who you are, how gritty you are, you can work aerobically. Got it? Make sense? Okay? Which one, so that's a pretty easy way for me to show that you've built fitness, you've built capacity. Got it? Same way on a rower. If the first time we do, foreshadowing, is that Thursday or Wednesday? Wednesday we're rowing a 5K aerobically, so hopefully we can get the heart rate monitors going and everything. So you can't see anything above 80%. You're running the test. This is a test, an aerobic 5K test. So then when we do some aerobic work, and then we test it again, and you're a little faster, you're like, cool, I'm more fit. Wasn't about how tough was I. Maybe I did some work on my efficiency, right? All of these things show for becoming a better athlete, well-rounded. Cool. Okay. All right. So let's just say this is our glass of health, the day of stress. Okay. This is a glass, in case you didn't know. Okay. Up here I've got optimal health. Okay. Low stress, life is perfect, right? Everything's good. Your kids are getting A's. Your dog loves you when he comes home. No diarrhea in the carpet. Your spouse, woke you up with a kiss on the cheek. Everything just is rosy glow, right? It's full. Okay, down here, I've got this section here that's basically living life. Okay? Healthy, you're still healthy, you're gonna stress, and you're gonna, throughout the day, this is gonna go down, it's gonna go up. We can also, refer to this as energy. Okay, and there's gonna be things that deplete your energy, and there's gonna be things that fill your energy, right? Things that'll fill your energy, food, vegetables. What else?
Sleep.
What's that?
Sleep.
Sleep, right? A kiss on the cheek from your wife or your husband, your mate, right? Anything that builds you up and makes you feel good, right? It's going to give you more energy. Yes? Does everybody agree with that? Okay. Now, let's say, okay, things aren't so rosy and glowy. Your wife jabbed you in the side when she got out of bed or didn't sleep with you, I don't know, right? Your kids failed a test, your principal called, your boss chewed you out, you missed your workout, your car snowed in, right? You're just kind of having, life's beating you down a little bit, right? So by about noon, you're down to here, okay? Let's just say, it's not a bad day. Let's say you eat some vegetables, you bring it back up. Boss chews you out, brings you back down. Right? These things, mental health is just as stressful as anything else. Would anybody disagree with that? Is that a stress? To bring it down, it cause you a lot of energy. How many of you put a lot of strain? You're not performing, right? So then, let's see. You drank all the water you were supposed to that day. Good job. But then you went and worked out, and I programmed a 45-minute ass kicker, and you took you back all the way down to here. Okay, just kind of down to that chronically tired. Actually, what happened there is I programmed an aerobic workout, but you were too blockheaded and you wanted to go on. Okay, so now you go home. You're like, oh shit, I had a rough day. I need a beer. Okay, well that didn't help. That actually depleted you a little bit more. Okay, you did have an energy bar, but it had too much sugar in it, so that brought you back down. Screwed that one up. Okay, you finally eat some red meat. You get a little bit of carbohydrate, and you have some vegetables, and you get brought back up, right? So you finish the day here. You go to sleep, but your baby wakes you up 4 times, so you actually wake up here. Okay? Got it? I'm sorry.
How big was this?
Every day. Actually, my wife, she takes care of Ace almost every night, so I can't complain too much. Okay, so anyway. So now I'm starting my next day here. Got it? I did eat a good breakfast, so I brought, I actually had some greens in my breakfast. Brought me back up a little bit. Okay? But then 2 members quit. They brought me down, darn it, take that personal, hurts, right? But don't worry, I had a big glass of water and a nice lunch, got it? Did my workout, it was a 2-hour aerobic session, it brought me down just a little bit, okay? Then one of my coaches was a jerk about something, I don't know, brought me down a little bit. That never happens, actually. Okay? Let's say instead of that nice aerobic workout that I did that brought me down just a little bit, instead I was upset and I wanted to go heavy and hard. It brings me back down. Coach said go 80%, but I didn't care. I want to do what I want. I know better. Now I'm back down here again. I get home. There's no food, so I have a couple shots. Okay, dog shit all over the house. Okay. And
Did your pipes freeze?
my pipes froze. So now I'm tired and I need my nap. Okay? I did eat a good dinner, which included some greens and some clean meat, right? So going to bed just above the chronically tired. It's only Tuesday. Okay? Tuesday morning I wake up, I'm gonna go do a workout, I eat a little, I get a decent sleep, so I come back up a little bit. Okay? But I got fired. Okay? Hey, see where I'm going with this? You see how my energy level is going down and down and down? Right? I'm not, you know, this night I just eat McDonald's. You know, I get a call from Will's principal again. That week. Okay. Right? So you guys get a sense here. Now I'm living in it's acceptable to sickness and injury. Okay, I'm having a bad day. Okay, now let's say this goes on for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, months. Let's just pretend, right? I'm playing with this line here, right? And every day I come in here, I've eaten well, I've gotten above this chronic tired. And then I come in here and I tell Max, you don't know what you're doing. I'm gonna lift heavy today, and I'm gonna go like a maniac, right? Okay, see this how this can just build on itself? If I would have just listened to Max, chilled out, I'd be up here. Okay? Right? And then when Max says, all right guys, we're gonna hit this hard. This is meant to build your aerobic, your threshold work. It brings you down a little bit. I tell you, go get an energy bar and make sure it's got, protein in it, blah, 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 no sugar. And that actually brings you back up to here. You're feeling good about yourself. Got it? The other scenario is not listening and doing whatever you want. You're all stressed out. I keep beating you down. Max's workouts are stupid. They just keep getting harder and harder and harder, heavier and heavier and heavier. Now all of a sudden I hurt my shoulder. Or I got a cold, or I got sick. Right now I gotta take 4 or 5 days off. Right? Whereas if I would have just kind of followed along, I'd be just playing in this world here. Up and down, all day long. Got it? So when I program 75% to 80%, don't worry, you're gonna get your flailing around on the floor. Just let's do those on the right days. Got it? Are we starting to kind of see the picture of what we're trying to cultivate here? So you guys can come in here day in and day out. I want you to come here, I want you to live here, right? This is a great place to come and build yourself up. There's a lot of other people around that can help you do that too, right? Does anybody, the joke is, right? Every group of friends has an asshole, right? If you guys say no, my group doesn't have an asshole, that means you're it. Okay, so this group, I've got to be the asshole. Because everybody in here is on the same path of becoming better and doing better for themselves, right? So that's kind of what all of this focus on aerobic work is to give you guys some insight into what's really going on. Because you might sit down on that rower one day, and generally, you can row about 210, really aerobic. But for some reason, you come in that day, and you can't pull 220 aerobic. It's a little insight to what's going on, probably, in your life. You're a little overworked, maybe. Didn't eat well, didn't sleep well. Yesterday's workout was more strenuous than I hoped. Did you get it? You can start to really get a sense of what's going on with you. You can take ownership of what's going on with you instead of just, you hurt me. Did you get it? Or I got sick. Let's start to see some trends of what's causing you to get sick or miss days or not be motivated, right, to come in. I'll tell you, motivation's a funny thing, right? If you're motivated to be healthy and to be happy and to be fit, right? The only time you might not want to come in and do that in here should be the days that maybe you shouldn't come, right? You're too tired. You need to refill your cup. Got it? You need to refill your cup and maybe just go home and eat, or come and sit in the Normatex, or come and just ride the bike for a few minutes. Or maybe do the workout aerobically like I programmed. And just say, hey, I'm going to back off a little from the 80% today. Okay? Any questions on kind of that?
So we're going to be wearing monitors more often now?
Awesome. Wait, man, it's like I planted him. Okay? So I am working on, you see the TVs are up, right? Those are for the heart rate monitors. Thank you, Tony and Brian, for hard work on that stuff. The goal is to have a new system within 45 days where you guys walk in, you've checked in on pipe 13.
Check in.
You've checked in, and you will just pop up on there for class. Got it? Now, the ultimate goal, right? And this might take forever, but the ultimate goal is that you have your own heart rate strap, your own fob, and it picks you up immediately. When you walk in, the coach doesn't have to help you get your loaner one on, all that. Now, I don't expect everybody to just get right on that. You get it? And it's going to be a little bit of a fumble curve trying to get this sorted out. Like I programmed a workout yesterday. I was hoping to have a little bit more time to have gotten everybody on this. Like tomorrow's workout is 3 minutes on the bike, under 80%. You can't start riding the bike until your heart rate gets back below 80%. On the next 3 minutes, you can do 2 power clean and jerks, 20 air squats, 2 power clean and jerks, 20 air squats, 2 power clean and jerks, 20 double unders. That's going to put your heart rate, if you don't do it right, around 90%. So you're going to have to sit on that bike, potentially, before you can go. Right? So you're going to start to learn how fast you recover and how fast you can go squatting, power cleaning, right? So you start to get a sense. That's one little trick. I did that workout Friday. Super fun. It's super fun. You end up squatting about like this. And you can get that work done in about 2:20. Okay? So the goal was to hopefully have those on. So if you guys are coming to 6 a.m. tomorrow and you want to wear heart rate monitors, you might have to be patient with Andy because he hasn't had a chance to play with these TVs yet. Right? We're getting a new, I just talked to the woman on the phone about the new system that I think I'm going to go ahead, and she says it takes about 45 days before you guys are all in the system and you're ready to rock and roll. I'm going to push her to get it done quicker than that because we've obviously been doing this. The stuff that we've been doing is fine, but it's not efficient, right? It takes a lot more time in class with the coaches, and you guys all kind of picked up on that, right?
Do you need specific heart rate monitors, or say a watch or something like that?
Yeah, so I think this Finkmetrics will grab an Apple and a Fitbit, but I'm not positive. The ones that we sell, they'll have some too, but we'll have loaners, right? But again, just be patient with us on that stuff, okay? It'll all work out in the end. It's just going to take us a little bit of tripping over ourselves to get that all sorted out.
Can we sell them? We just ask the coach for one.
Yeah, we will. I think we're out of them now. We had an extra 5 or 6 of them for people that wanted their own. Eventually, when we buy and set up with the system, they'll have a bunch of those as well.
Or we're out of them right now.
We just sold last one. They're going to be around $55 or something. Now, the next thing that I am looking, so some of you, how many of you have put a heart rate monitor on and feel like it's just that it's like when I say 80% is just, or 85% is super easy for you still? Yeah. So the heart rate, the percentages that are on me, they're just kind of like an equation, right? They're not specific to you. Just like the 220 minus your age and find your max heart rate, that's not actually like an accurate way to do it. It's just a guess, right? For the average person, it's a fine way to start. Most of our CrossFit athletes, we find they're like 5 to 7 beats minimum higher. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. So the aerobic rate is 180 minus your age. And
Yes.
Your heart rate is 220 minus your age.
Your max heart rate, the fastest you could make your heart beat is 220 minus your age, approximately. Now, the 180 minus your age has actually got quite a bit of science behind it. Quite a bit of time and research behind it. So for now, if I say stay aerobic, you can use that. That's about 75% for most people.
It's about what percent?
It's about 75%. Kathy. And that was just something that the guy that trained Mark Allen developed. Mark Allen, you guys know that name, won lots of Ironmans, right? Well, he lost lots of them before he started winning. And he would always peter out at the end. So he ended up like 3rd, 5th, 4th, 2nd lots. Then he started working with his coach. And the coach basically said, you're not doing anything, any training, anything outside of your aerobic heart rate, your perfect aerobic heart rate, and that's 180 minus your age. Okay? So the first time he started doing this and he ran a mile, it took him 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Within 3 years, he could run an aerobic mile in 5:20. Right? You guys get that concept, how that makes sense to everything that I'm talking about and being able to do aerobic wall balls. So the next time I do 1,000 wall balls, it doesn't take me 3 hours because I don't fall apart. It only takes me 2. Get it? Got it? See? That's the concept. So that 180 minus your age is your perfect aerobic pace. Now, many of you, when you start doing that, you're going to be like, then it feels really easy, and you're going to do a kettlebell swing and like shit. It's okay. Play with it. I'm going to try to design things that slowly stretch that for you. Get it? I did one today that I know when I started I would not have been able to do aerobically. It was 30 air squats, 20 kettlebell swings, 10 push press. Lightweight. And by 8, 9, and 10 on the push press, I saw 82%. And my squat pace was, so it was every 3 minutes I did that for 10 rounds. Josh did it today, no problem. By the end, Josh is, I would say, probably not quite as enduring as I am. He's more explosively strong. The early rounds were really easy for him. He was like, man, heart rate won't get up, but over time, his muscles fatigued a little bit, and it was a little, he had to stretch that out a little bit. Okay? So those are just kind of some of the things you'll see coming your way in workouts. We're still going to do some classes like days where I want to program some threshold work, and it's going to be Cindy. And just kind of hang out for dear life, right? But I might program aerobics in you. It sounds way more fun. Okay? Maybe, but it'll be 40 minutes instead of 20. Right? Saving a lot of reps, just less strain. Saving a lot of strength built by. See you later. See you in the morning. Okay? I think I kind of touched on most all of this stuff, right? Well, I didn't get into this. That's where I was going with all this stuff about the heart rate monitors. VO2 test. Sorry. Scary, right, Noah? The way I wrote that, scary.
Yeah.
Well, I can buy a metabolic tester now, you guys, for they're around $5,000. You guys know what a metabolic tester is? Basically, we can find all these zones and percentages dialed in for you. So, like Claire, at 75%, may or may not be aerobic. 80%, that might be starting to get into threshold work for her, whereas Noah at 80%, he's still very, very aerobic, burning only oxygen. It's different for everybody. These percentages are just guesses. Imagine that everybody does a VO2 max test, and you go into your account, and you set your threshold at 160 beats. And I say for the workout, nothing above 160 beats until the last 4 minutes. Now you come in here, you just turn your brain off, and you just train, and you know 100% you're getting the most out of that duration of time. Right? You're not beating yourself down. You're stretching that interval, right? Because that interval is going to stretch. It's going to be harder and harder to do, right? And we can make it specific towards you, to you. There's no question about it, right? And then we can retest. Did we build some more? Did we build your VO2 max? Did we build your threshold? Did we build your ability to doing work during aerobic threshold, right? So all see, like, it's going to be really fun. Be a really fun, productive way to spend your hour here. My hope is you're like hanging out, want to do more. Hang out for another 20 minutes, doing some more work. Because you feel good. You want to be more healthy. Right? I've lost, since I started doing this focused work, a year ago today, pretty much, I weighed 196 pounds. Now, granted, I was trying to gain weight, like I was eating a lot of potatoes at that time. But I weigh 181 pounds. Just as, not quite as strong, but pretty close. Right? Lost my back fat. Okay? Like, just by just slowing down, burning fuel differently. You guys, like, understand, like, this is how we build health. is it that, we could argue, is it the best way and the most important way to build athleticism? We could argue that. We can have that debate. But in the end, I would say, well, what can you aerobically row a 10K in? If I can beat you aerobically in a 10K, right? Maybe we've got to go to a 30K before we show that my fitness is better. You get it? Because if you can row a 10K faster than me, but not aerobically, eventually you're going to fall off. Get it? It might just take you a while if you're a super athlete. Who's in for 1,000? Oh, before I forget, anything? I think I hit everything. So be patient with this one. Tomorrow, if you're coming to 6 a.m., help Andy. Show up 5 minutes early, start getting your heart rate strap on, get yourself into the system. Okay? Other than that, the other thing I have on the board here is Carrie Waddington. There's no Carrie yet. She's going to start doing little PT sessions on Wednesday, 7 to 8 a.m. and Friday, 1:30 to 2:30. We're going to put a sign up on there. So if you've got like a nagging shoulder, nagging knee, nagging low back, she's going to be here just, trying to figure out, help you what's going on, maybe give you some exercises to do so that naggy thing can start getting a little better. Now, we're going to put this on Pipe 13, Jonathan.
Okay.
Okay, and can you make it so they have to sign up within 24 hours?
Okay.
Okay, and they have to.
How long are the sessions?
She's going to be here for an hour, so we would like you to sign up. Maybe a couple people could sign up for that session, right? But that's about it. And sign up in plenty in advance, and don't cancel on her within like 24 hours either. Right? She's rearranging her schedule and stuff to be here. Now, she kind of picked these times because generally on Wednesday she's going to do 6 a.m. and she's going to be here anyway, right? But we need to get you signed up. So this is part of your membership. Got it? And this isn't an add-on. This is just like, she approached me about wanting to do it. I said, yeah, let's do it. Figure out my costs and all that stuff. And I decided that it was doable, right? All these things that we're trying to do to get you maintaining your health, getting back in here, coming and squatting it out, right? That's it. Any questions?
How many rest days a week would you recommend for?
Yeah, so I would.
Depending on age, goals.
Yeah, I mean, are you eating well, sleeping well? Pre-baby?
I think so.
Okay, right? I think I still would abide by a lot of that 3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off protocol.
Okay.
You can, if you're somebody that eats well, sleeps well, does all the other things, keeps your stress down, you can handle more. Personally, I've been training 5-6 days a week. Yesterday I went skiing as my rest day. And I train lately minimum an hour. I'm just backing off a little bit. My reps are way up though. My total reps for the day are insane right now. Not everybody gets to own a gym and has that as their priority and their goal, right? Like, it's important for me to know what I'm doing for you guys, right? I'm the first guinea pig, and then you guys are all just like the test subjects, right? Like, some of you are like, oh, this isn't for me. Well, how do you know? Right? I came in for a workout. Well, how do you know? Right? If you're saying that, you've probably been doing the same thing for a long time, and you're the same athlete you were 4 years ago. Many, right? So, what's the worst case here? You come in, you do some aerobic work, you feel really good for 3 or 4 days. Guess what? You're probably going to come in and get a burner pretty quick here, right? I can promise you start getting good at being aerobic, these workouts get hard. It's just different hard. I can start lengthening duration. I think like the people that have been goating, right? Workouts are starting to get a little longer, aren't they? You start to yearn for a little bit more. You start to want to be able to sit on that thing of water. Oh, shoot. That was one of the main reasons for this meeting. So GOAT. We are programming GOAT now on Mondays is GOAT as usual, okay? Like running, skiing, biking, it's just all, everything. Tuesdays and Thursdays and Friday mornings are going to be focused on the bike. Okay? Wednesdays are going to be GOAT. And Saturdays are going to be more like GOAT. Okay? Now, let's say you want to come to Tuesday night, 6:30 while everybody, or 5:45 while everybody's there working out, right? Because it's fun. Maybe class is full of, all 6 people are already signed up, but you want to go in and do Monday, Wednesday, or Fridays workout, or Saturdays workout. Sorry. Got it? You can do it. As long as there's physical space and room back there, it's always more fun with a friend, right? You can count on a coach being there at those scheduled times. You can come and use and do GOAT anytime. Many of you don't need a coach for a lot of that. Is it more fun? Sure. Is it nice to have a coach helping you guide with your interval work and keeping you on target? Sure. But you can do a lot of this work without a coach. There's also 3 days of strength back there. Right? So David, I think David's the only one that is strictly just kind of doing GOAT at this point. So he can come, like let's say he likes to bike, so he's gonna come Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But he's gonna come in maybe on a Wednesday to lift. Maybe a Monday morning to lift. Got it? And one day he's just gonna stay and do GOAT and lift. Got it? I don't know what I'm writing there. Star. Got it? Does that make sense to you, David? Okay. So the work will be on the board for the week. The other thing is, if it says, do we have GOAT with a coach? Is that how we have it written down there?
Nope, not anymore. It never
Okay.
would, yeah.
All right. So GOAT with a coach. Pretty much the 9:30 time slots at this point. Coach might be there, but that's there for them to work out as well potentially. Okay. So it's kind of like GOAT with a coach. Just the other thing is similar to getting your bike set up is like getting your barbell out. Coach doesn't do that for you, right? So we need to figure out, make sure we know how to get our bike set up, get everything set up back there, so the coach isn't trying to fumble around. Okay, that's all hours, not just that GOAT with the coach. That's all hours. You should be able to get yourself set up. There's going to be a general warm up. We call it the GOAT general warm up, and I don't remember. It's 2 minutes of bike, 2 minutes of ski, 30 squats, 30 lunge steps, 30 good mornings, 30 ab mats, I believe. That's just like your standard warm up.
Is there a common iPad for the heart rate monitor connections?
What's that? Say that
Heart
again.
rate monitor connection,
Yeah.
is there an iPad in the GOAT room itself dedicated?
It will be. Yes, it will be. There's going to be an iPad here and one in there until we get this new system in. And again, you guys, like right now, it'll be like, who wants to put our ring monitor on? If you do, make sure that you have it on. I got Cindy on. Like you're done and you're ready, right? You actually should be able to even walk over to the heart rate and add yourself now. And then coach can maybe just have to give a little cleaning up. Okay? Try to insert. So, like, hey, 3, 2, wait, I don't have my heart rate monitor on. Like it's just not gonna help, right? The guy in the corner that has to get out of here right on time is like, fuckered up, right? Trying not to be a jerk, but he's like, you knew we were doing this, right? So that was the other thing. Oh, I put on that email as well about adding strength training to your existing program, right? With the way I'm programming now, I'm trying to give you more awareness and keeping you under more control. goal of CrossFit TreeTown, across everybody here, is to be able to make you stronger, healthier individuals, right? So pretty much if I can make you stronger than when you started, I know I'm doing something to help your life. Does anybody argue with that? Right? Whatever strength, strength means different things, but that's one of our main goals. And second is I want to be able to teach you how to do more work for a longer period of time. And I want to help you look beautiful while you're doing it. So teaching you how to clean, jerk, and snatch, and squat, and press, and do everything to your best ability. Slowing down is going to allow all of those things to occur. Plus, you'll be able to absorb and get stronger. And if you have the opportunity and the time to add some type of OLE program to your lifts, I can tell you guys, if you had all the time in the world, everybody has all the time in the world, right? If you could CrossFit aerobically and do some kind of lifting program, like you're going to be a really strong, happy, healthy person well into your 80s and 90s, assuming you don't have too much dog shit in your carpet. Where else did I say to get you down here, right? Principal calls. Right? Oh man, Will can't watch this video. Okay. Any questions for me, you guys? Any? You guys enjoy these? I want to do these, I don't know, maybe once every couple months. Anything that you guys have for me that you would like to see different from your coaches or from us? Like, don't be shy. Like, the other day, like, Brendan was like, we did that power clean workout. I was like, you know what we needed? We needed to go for a heavy one prior to this, and that workout would have been a little better. I was like, that's the kind of feedback I need. He was exactly right. I was like, you know what? You're right. That 205 would not have felt so horrible if I would have hit a couple at 225. If I would have had that time, if I would have programmed the day to do that. Those things are fine to talk to me about. You might have a horrible idea. And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Share. We like, hey Max, bathrooms are dirty. Like let us know. We're trying to keep up, right? All that stuff. You guys also understand. So we always want more members, right? You guys get that. The more members we have, the more fun we can have, the more equipment, the more things that we can do, right? During this new year, we actually raised our prices to try to curb that New Year's let's get in shape, right? I mean, I'd love to fill this place with a whole bunch of them and then try to convert them into CrossFitters, but that takes away from you guys. Do you guys get that? And that's why I did that. I am committed to producing a product in here where, you guys know, when you started, you required a lot of attention, right? When you were in class, you just required more attention until we got you up to speed and you started moving well and you started getting the hang of it, right? Well, think about, we signed up, how many did we sign up, Jonathan, on Saturday? 9 or 10 new people, right? They're going to start to be in classes, so please be patient with me and your coaches as we, these people that signed up, they made a big financial commitment. So, really help them, they're in. Do you get it? Even if they are, let's do this, they're in. They've made quite a commitment to their health. So please be warm, welcoming, patient, right? Since I'm trying to get you to slow down in class, you get a few reps on the side. I don't know. Okay? But I think that's kind of mostly the state of where we're at with things. We have breakfast at the end of the month. Come get Zingerman's eggs and bacon and sausage. That's the 27th. I think I'll have it delivered around 8:30. You can come and work out early. You can come and eat and then work out later if you want. I don't know. The weightlifting team, when's that meet?
The 20th and 21st.
20th and 21st. If you've never, Claire's there as well, right? Who else? Anybody else here?
I'm there.
Yep, you too. Right? If you guys have never been to one, this would be a great one. We have a lot of people from back going. It's in Livonia.
Yep, at the Marriott.
Yeah, they're fun. It'd be fun to go cheer. If you want to go, and maybe we'll have a sign up group to go. See if anybody wants to go. I'm gonna go for a few hours at least.
We'll give you what sessions, who's like the one.
Yeah. We'll probably post Jonathan and
sessions.
we'll put that up over here. The other thing is, if you guys are interested in having your own heart rate monitor, so you don't have to borrow gross sweaty straps from the last class, you could buy just the strap. They're $22. If you want one with a fab as well, so you have your own, so when you come in, it'll just grab you. Those are $55, and it's with a strap and everything. Okay, but we'll have a loaner. But if you want to have your own strap, you just show up with it on, and you won't have to put on. We do clean them, but still, especially when it's cold, you're like, oh gosh.
Max, the system that you're looking at will pick up like if folks have Garmin's already or.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the one we're gonna end up going with. It's got this system. It's got a lot of stuff that is clubbish. I don't know how to put it. You know, you can earn like fit points or stuff. But it's got a lot of other really good stuff in it that makes it easy for the coaches and for you guys. There's a little bit of, I don't know how to say it. Foo-foo stuff that isn't like us, but maybe we'll end up having some fun, having like some challenge points. Like I can, let's say the workout is, I put on there, it's 70 to 75% is the goal. Well, you can earn more points for staying in that than if you could get negative points if you go into 90%. Right? We could have some fun with it. We could. Is it a little bit not what we're about, maybe? But it could be a fun way. You know, if you get done and you're, I might start designing some workouts. I've been playing with this a little bit. Just to take a simple example, 1,000-meter row for time. But you have to stay below 80%. For every percent you're above 80%, it's a 20-second penalty. Right? To keep you aerobic. Could be fun ways to play with this stuff. You guys get that, right? Just a different, fun way to take on stuff. So be watching for all this stuff. Thanks everybody for coming. Oh, yes, Claire.
Real quick, I'm not going to waste
Oh,
your
yes.
time, but if you're interested in body composition or if there's any questions about it, please talk to me. It's something I'm really passionate about, and I feel like I could help more on an individual level versus a big class setting. You sign up for 2 sessions, they're 30 minutes each, really quick, but I think it'll make a big difference in your training. It gives a little bit more direction, and we talk about you the whole time, so that's fun.
What about you? Sorry, Claire. I was nervous and I forgot. I meant to have you do that first.
I have a question about the heart rate monitors. So if you get a heart rate monitor, one of the $55 things, can you wear them in the goat room? Because
Yes.
the goat room, I know that they're paired with
The same.
body.
Yeah, so they were.
Got it.
Since we've started using them all over the place, they're kind of discombobulated and connected and not disconnected. But yeah, eventually we will have ones that are just for the bike and they won't leave. We'll have enough of them, right? We've kind of robbed Peter to pay Paul, so we can use
But it
them
is
all.
easy enough, like if you are on the bikes, it is easy enough to search for the one that you're wearing. 'Cause I've done that.
Except when the guy next to you has theirs on and you're like, are you at 90 beats per minute or are you at 88 beats per minute? You know what I mean? So that's the only thing about, once we have them, enough of them, those will, like Bucks will stay with Buck.
Okay.
Cindy will stay with, Tina will stay with Tina. These are good names. We still need to name the runners and the skiers. If you guys have some names, we'd love to hear them. Thanks you guys. Don't feel like you have to stay, Kelly. Thank you very much. Appreciate you everybody coming.
Do you have a timeline on the VO2 testing? Just curious. Also, with the VO2, I know Jeff did a lot of that.
I'm not complaining.
When they did this,
Yeah,
like, Super into it also.
Natural percentage is not, that will be about 75%. Okay, max.
Hey,
I'm interested.
yay!
Okay, so
Pretty good, right?
yes,
Yeah,
so
so-
20 minus 60 would be 160. So your max.
But it's pretty accurate.
So 120
I'm
minus
almost
20.
Yeah.
So that's probably, they're both similar, right? 75%. So that's kind of
I
like
could address
your
your
working
question. Rest days and-
pace. You're starting to leave.
Yeah,
As soon as you get low back, you're starting to get into, there's first you're gonna come to aerobic threshold, right? Where you're still engaged, and then you're gonna start to cross into anaerobic threshold. And that's where you're low anaerobic threshold function pretty good at, especially if those numbers like really good at.
So,
Once you start getting deeper
So you sign up for, sign up
then you start to see
one, whatever you want, and then the next one's issues later. So like, you start to
learn
sign
more.
up.
It'll all, and it's funny, like,
And it's.
the more you wear it, the more you actually listen to it instead of just watch it, right? You'll get
So yeah, so I can do some research.
Yep.
So the
Green is,
aerobic. Yep.
and that's how you're starting, because you
Yeah.
put in my age. You could-
Yes. Yeah. But again, those are all just formulas. They're just formulas. Okay.
And then green, and then it's kind of a yellow or orange.
Just and that's starting to get into threshold work.
And if it's red. then-
Yeah, red is you're working at max capacity, and you have
It's nice to have.
you have limited time before you're just hanging out, right? Thanks, Kathy. I love that you're interested, Kathy.
Yep.
I love it.